This is McFly Angler.
And it starts now.
To start, we will need a short shank, strong hook like these Gamakatsu SL12s, and today I'm tying this in a size 2. Now we will need to make a dubbing brush, and if you don't have a brush table like this, then you can always buy brushes, but they are expensive. So if you plan on tying flies regularly with brushes, then I recommend getting one like this from Oasis Benches. It's a wonderful table for not a bad price, comparably to others on the market. Now I've shown how to make brushes in the past, so I won't go into details on this one. Let's just speed through all this. However, I do need to stress that you should be using a dubbing brush wire as it stretches better and won't break as easily. Okay, for this specific brush, let's measure out the hook. We will want the fiber to be about 1.5 to 2 times the length of the hook. Now we will need craft fur. Today I'm tying this in black. Here I have extra select craft fur, which has longer fibers than this on the right that I got from a craft store. We will use the extra select for the tail, but for the brush we don't need the fibers this long. Let's cut off some of the craft store fur. And then pull out the underfur. Now measure this to the length that you need and then cut it. Spread apart the fur a bit and place it on the table with the butt ends barely over the wire. Keep doing this until you fill the brush with fur and keep it as even as possible. To add a bit of flash, I'm going to use a starburst dubbing. You can use any color here, but today I'm using red. Pull out some and pull apart in your fingers to align the fibers. Then cut it to length as well. Place this on top of the craft fur, filling up the brush like this. Now put more dubbing brush wax on the wire and spin out the brush. Of course, like always, brush it out to release any trap fibers, and then cut it from the table. By the way, use some wire cutters and not your good scissors for this. Now you're ready to tie this fly. This brush here should make 4 to 5 of these flies. Place the hook securely in your vise. For thread, I like this Vivus 140 power thread, and today I'm using black. Start your thread behind the eye of the hook and snip or snap off the waist. And then bring your thread a little down into the bend of the hook and then back up to the start of the bend. Now for that extra select craft fur. Cut off a section and clean it up like before. I also like to pull out the extra long fibers and replace them back into the clump so they align with the shorter fibers. Now measure out the fur to about 2 times the hook shank length, and then push the fibers down into the hook shank and make a few tight wraps. Now with touching wraps, tie the fur down up until just before the hook eye, and then cut it off at an angle and clean up that section. Bring your thread down to the start of the tail. Now we need some flash. Today I'm using silver crystal flash. Cut off 3 strands and tie it in on top, extending just past the craft fur and slightly on the side of the fur tail. Then pull the forward facing strands rearward and tie those down slightly on the other side of the tail like so. And then trim off the flash so they're even on both sides. Now prepare another clump of craft fur and tie it in on top of the flash, extending back as far as the other craft fur clump. Tie this up to a little shy of the last craft fur piece and then cut it off at an angle as well, and then clean up that section. Bring your thread back to the start of the tail once again. Now take the brush we made and tie it in on the side of the fly and bring your thread up to just behind the hook eye. Start wrapping the brush up the hook shank with touching wraps, making sure to stroke the fibers back with each wrap. Periodically, about every 4 to 5 wraps, use a stiff toothbrush to brush out what you have wrapped so far, forward and then rearward. Continue wrapping and brushing out the wraps until you reach the hook eye. Now to ensure we don't trap too many fibers, use a bodkin to separate some of the fibers and then capture the brush with 2 tight wraps. And then pull the brush back, ensuring that all the fibers angling rearward as well, and then wrap back on top of the wire with a couple wraps. And sometimes it helps to wet your fingers as well to ensure all the fibers pull rearward. Now use the wire cutters to cut the wire off close. Make a few more wraps to cover the wire point, and then whip finish your fly. Now brush out the fiber one last time. If you have any trap fibers angling forward, you can use a flame to burn them off. I actually had some in the eye of the hook, which for some reason I couldn't get burnt off. Oh well, just do your best to clean up the head as best as you can. Now you could fish this fly just like this, but I like adding eyes. I really like these fish skull living eyes, and for this color fly, the ice color works best for me. Pull off 2 eyes and put them on your hand to get them ready. Now we need some gel type super glue like this Loctite super gel. Place a dot on each side of the whip finish and put your eyes on, so they're just behind the hook eye. Do the same thing on the other side. Now make sure that the eyes are aligned properly. Sorry guys, it's hard to do this on camera like this. Now place the fly aside to dry, and you can go ahead and tie up a few more while you wait. Now to finish the eyes, place the fly angling up in your vise like this, and I like adding resin in between the eyes to support them. You could use either this medium or thin viscosity resin from Saltwater, and today I'm using the thin for this size fly. Place a little between the eyes, ensuring it gets deep into the fiber, but not extending back too far either. Let it settle a bit before curing with your Saltwater UV light. And then angle the fly down and turn your vise around. Place a bit more of this resin on the underside in the same way, but make sure it goes over the front of the eyes for more security. Cure this as well. Now for the final step. I like adding this ultra thin resin, and this paintbrush applicator makes this step easy. And when cured, it comes out with a nice finished look to the head of this fly. Paint some over the eyes, but ensure it doesn't go into the eye of the hook. Cure it hard while spinning the fly to make sure it's coated evenly around the eyes, and your fly is now finished. So I tied this fly for a customer of mine who buys my flies regularly. He fishes this fly for baby tarpon while wading in the coast of Florida. And it is for sure his favorite fly for these type fish because of its durability and effectiveness. By the way, you should check him out on Instagram, as he fishes for some really cool fish in the Florida area, including peacock bass, tarpon, redfish, and much more. And I'll put a link to his Instagram in the description section of this video. As you all know, I have gotten you all discounts from both www.risenfly.com and www.dooliesflyfishing.com. Doolies offers great prices on all of the name brand fly tying materials, and Risen Fly manufactures their own hooks, rods, reels, and other gear for fly fishing. Their products are top quality, and best of all, they are priced very reasonably. Not only are the prices at these 2 shops great, but like I said, they are offering all of my subscribers a discount. So use McFly at checkout when ordering from either of these shops, and you will get an additional 15% off of their already great prices. I want to also thank all of my Patreons who support me. For as little as $1 a month, you can help support this channel and also get some great perks like early access to my videos, participate in live streams, and more. So go to www.patreon.com/McFlyAngler to sign up today. I also thank all of you who share all my videos with your friends and your continued support by hitting the like buttons and subscribing. Thank you for making these videos possible. I will see you on the next video. Now you go catch some fish.